What is good people? You are now listening to another episode of At the Plate with Danny Foxworth. I am your humble narrator, Danny Foxworth, and once again, we're joined by an extremely special guest. He is one half of the hip-hop duo Actual Proof, Raleigh, North Carolina's own, diehard Red Sox fan. We got my man Sundown in the building. Sundown, what's good, bro?
Not much, man. I'm excited to be here. I don't really get to talk baseball a lot, so this should be fun. Oh, and I'm in a recording place I don't normally record, so
We'll power through it.
it's not ideal for me,
off,
but here I am.
Raleigh, North Carolina, the 919. What was that like growing up for you
Yeah.
in Sundown?
I moved there when I was 12, I think, 12 or 13, and to be honest, I did not like it. Um, we moved there from like a suburb of Richmond, and I didn't know anybody. I'm not Southern, so it was. I just felt weird. And when I moved there, none of the kids in my neighborhood played baseball. So eventually, I quit playing because I got tired of not being around people that, I mean, after I got to know people in my neighborhood, I got tired of not being able to hang out with them. Like they would all be going to play basketball or whatever, and I would be going to baseball practice. And a kid in my neighborhood or in the neighborhood next to me named Bobby, he came and played with us here and there, but eventually like his interest went to basketball. So it was like, well, let me go play basketball. So honestly, if I hadn't moved to North Carolina, I don't know if I would have been as into basketball as I am now. But it was, eventually I made friends and went to a very cool high school, still keep in touch with a lot of the people I went to high school with. And I mean, I wouldn't have started doing music if I didn't live in Raleigh. So even though I am not the biggest fan of North Carolina per se, a lot of good things have happened to me
Right on. And
from
also
living
in
here.
high school,
Living in Raleigh. I
that
don't
where
live
you
there
met your
currently.
rhyme partner Enigma?
He lived in the same neighborhood that this kid Bobby lived in, which was right next to mine. Enigma Amp and their brother Brandon lived in that neighborhood as well. Just started riding the bus to school together, and me and Amp were friends first. E is 2 years behind us in school, I think. And over time, as I started hanging out with Amp more, clearly I'm going to be around his family and his brothers more. And then E was rapping in high school. I didn't start rapping for real until we got signed. Me and Amp started making beats together during college, and then we didn't have anybody to rap on our beats. So we would kind of write rhymes just to see how stuff would sound. And then we discovered like, oh, you can just download acapellas off the internet. Like we don't need to do this. And then, we would get like Busta Rhymes acapellas or whoever, just MCs that we liked. And then eventually, through a course of events, E's rhyming partner went off to grad school. We wound up meeting ninth and getting signed. And E was just like, I'm down to do this, but I don't want to rap by myself. You two can rap. You should rap with me. And Amp was like, absolutely not. You will not hear me on a mic. And I was like, well, shit, I don't want to call his bluff and have him say like, well, we're out. If nobody's rapping with me, this is done. So I was like, I'll do it. Yeah, I'll do it. And had no idea what I was signing up for. Took me a long time to get comfortable with rapping.
Wow.
Actually, I don't think I got comfortable with it until we stopped putting music out, which is ironic. But yeah, so there's like unreleased songs and unreleased verses that are there. After I got comfortable with it, hopefully they'll come out one day. But great experience. Every day I walked into the studio, there was, if it wasn't the roster on the label, Raekwon might show up, or Torre, or Sky Zoo. I mean, Sky was on the label for a bit.
Wow.
Kendrick, Vince Staples was in the studio a couple times. I mean, just, and yeah, these people might not necessarily be rapping, but at the same time, you see them and it's like, oh shit, like if this person does decide to get on the song with me, I have to get better. Like that was just my thought process all the time. Q would be gone for a little bit, GQ, and then he would show back up to the studio and just pick up like he never left off. And it was just like, man, I can't. There's no days off really. Boog could be working on something, and you'll kind of poke your head in to the session and hear him, and just like, okay, well, let me go start writing, because the second somebody throws a beat on and says, "Oh, you got something," I got to be ready. So it was a good experience. It was a really good experience. It taught me a lot. It showed me that not necessarily that I think I'm good, but like I can learn to do this. And I turned it. It went from me being scared to me being like, okay, this is a good opportunity. Don't waste this. And that's how I started to look at it. And every day was like
Right
I don't
on.
want to say a
That's a
challenge, but
great way
every
of
day
looking
was
at it. So how did y'all
just
first
like an
meet Ninth
opportunity
Wonder?
to get better. Um, we used to go to Little Brother shows a lot, like a lot, and like we would be jumping up and down all night, screaming at the top of our lungs. And then through that, we started noticing Ninth would just pop up places and either DJ or run beats. And so we would start showing up, and he kind of started recognizing our faces. Um, so like he would kind of point to us like he recognized us after a while. And then E decided to go to North Carolina Central when he left the military. And he signed up for Ninth's class. And then first day of school, Ninth said, "Yo, who wants to go see The Office?" The Office turned out to be a studio. And the first day in there, they were running a song and they had space open for a third verse. And E said, "Ninth, can I jump on the song?" And Ninth was like, "Yeah, but if it's whack, we're going to tell you." So he went in and did his verse, and Ninth was like, "All right, we'll keep it." And he called us immediately. He was like, "Yo, drop whatever you're doing and bring your beats. Come to Central." And me and Amp were hanging out making beats at the time. And so we were like, all right, let's get it. And we started burning a bunch of beats to CDs, and we drove up there. Cooley High was in the building, M1 Platoon, Carlita Duran was there, I believe. Focus, I think maybe Young Swift was there. Just a lot of really talented people. And we weren't used to playing beats in front of people. So once we arrived, Ninth was out to lunch or whatever. I guess he went to go grab food. And so somebody was like, "Yo, run some joints." So we started playing beats, and people kind of started freestyling to him. And I was like, "Oh shit, like this is kind of cool." And then Ninth showed up, and immediately I just stared at the floor. I was like, "Oh no, he's gonna say this is whack. Like, but turn this off." So he sits down and he just starts listening, and he would listen for a second and be like, "All right, run another one." And then he might listen to that one for a little bit longer than he did the one before. And then eventually we got through some, I don't know, maybe 10 beats, and he was like, "All right, run 2, 3, 6, and 7 back." And so we did. And then he just said, "Yo,
Wow.
just keep coming back." And then that somehow turned
And
into
I
us getting
remember
signed.
actually seeing y'all. I believe it
Yeah,
was in
real lucky,
Charlotte.
just
Y'all
in the right
opened for
place at the right
Reflection
time.
Eternal. I was at that show.
We did.
It was.
Wow. That was a long time ago. Yeah, we were still like getting our stage show together. Yeah, that was just all part of that process of learning, and me like instead of being scared, just taking it as like who else gets to say they were able to do this. I didn't grow up wanting to make music. It just kind of fell in my lap after discovering Little Brother. Like, oh, you can make beats on a computer. Oh, all right. Like, and then it turned into me working with one of the members of Little Brother. So every time that I would kind of get scared or like kind of start to like turn into myself, the thought was like, how many people would kill to have this opportunity? Like, why would you take it for granted? And, at first, like, oh, we're opening for Quali. And that turned into, no, we're opening for Quali. Like,
Word. So
let's have fun with this.
Do
And
you
then
have a
it just started
what
going
was
from
your
there.
most memorable performance moment? Wow.
We were in South Africa in Cape Town, and I can't even believe that I get to say that. That was a crazy experience. But we're over there, and we had performed in Johannesburg the night before. Again, crazy. And so during the Cape Town performance, E's mic goes out. And years before, we had performed at a tribute show for Pete Rock and DJ Premier, and we got picked to do Nas's Like. So that was crazy. So when E's mic goes out, Ninth on his toes starts running the beat for Nas's Like. And I did the first verse during that tribute show performance. So we just kind of fell straight into it. And that was a sign like, oh, we can handle anything. Like we're in such a good groove performing and like with our stage show and the way we sequence things that one, we know like if we get derailed, we know how to like get back on the train that we have set for ourselves. But being derailed when Ninth ran that immediately, it was like, oh, we're back at the tribute show. I know what to do. So, I started off with just like a call and response to the crowd, like fix E's mic, talking to the sound guy. But we got the crowd to play into it. And, I would, hold the mic out to them and they would say it, I would say it. And then we ran into the verse, and like during the verse, they fixed his mic, and then we just went back on with the show. And that was a sign. It was like, yeah, we've gotten way better than we ever thought we would get. And I still think back on that, like with every time I think about it, it puts a smile on my face because I still don't know how we went from
there was a malfunction and y'all
being
still
in South Africa.
Just went on the fly with it and found a way to fix it in the meantime. That's dope.
Yeah. It was, but in the moment, there was no thinking. It was just, oh, obviously I know this beat. I've, rapped the song in my car. I don't know how many times, but I've also performed this in front of the dude who made the beat with Nas. Like, this is nothing. Like, not this is nothing, but like, I've done this in front of Primo. I can do this in front of a crowd.
I still jam y'all's music, man. Seriously. Like, Show You the Way, that's my joint. Oh, my God.
Oh, thank you. The way. Thank you. That was recorded. God, that was recorded when we were making our first EP.
Man, yeah, that's
so that was recorded way before the album was even thought about. Oh God, I don't listen to our music because I hate my voice and I just don't want to listen to myself. So like you saying those song titles, I'm like, oh man, I remember when we recorded that. That was
it was.
Oh, shit,
that was a
long time
seriously
ago.
Though, thank y'all for that moment.
That was a real long time ago.
Music is timeless, especially and good music is timeless, I should say. And
thank
being
you.
that y'all put that out so long ago, and I'm still jamming it in 2024, that's a testament to the quality of music that y'all put out. So, from the bottom of my heart, thank y'all. Seriously.
Oh man, that's stuff like that is, again, that's why this feels worth it, because I didn't even think anybody would listen to us, and to have people say that they enjoyed our music, that was
Oh, no problem, man. You're welcome.
every time.
Now let's
I
get into some
appreciate it. I don't take
baseball.
that for granted.
So
So thank you.
what were your earliest baseball memories?
Okay. Probably playing catch with my father and watching the Cubs on WGN. Yeah, that's
Man,
probably
collecting
and
baseball
collecting
cards.
baseball cards. That's probably
I
like
still got
the
a
foundation
ton
of
of
it.
baseball cards in my parents' attic. I gotta go up. I gotta go up there and see what that bounty is looking like. Cause man, I was just like you. I had like it was my friends started collecting baseball cards before I
Yeah.
did, and I don't know what it was. I was watching cartoons and they had a commercial for the new year for the Topps baseball cards, and I was like, "That's what my friends have, so that's what I want." And I told mom, I was like, "I want to get the box set of that." I think it was '93, and she was like, "Okay," and she got it for me for Christmas, and to this day, it's still in the attic. I got shoe boxes full of cards, got binders full of cards.
Okay.
Man, you peel back a layer just now, man.
My my mother threw away a
Mm-hmm.
bunch of my cards. I still have like one set of them. I think they're Donruss cards. Um, she threw away a lot of my comic books and a lot of my sports cards, but I still have one group of baseball cards left, and it's actually might be in this room. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna make sure I never let that go. And I've kind of thought about maybe starting to collect again, just because it's fun, and maybe like my sons
Yeah,
will gravitate to the game a little bit more. So
that's
that's my
true.
hope.
That's true.
We'll see. You can't
Man,
really
I
predict what
remember
children will get into,
like
so
in school
we'll see
we
how
would
that
trade
goes.
the East Bay catalog. Well, we would trade that we would trade the Beckett Monthly card, the Beckett Monthly magazine as well.
Oh,
That Beckett used to do the Beckett used to do numbers
uh,
on my school bus, man. Those were some good times.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Man, when you would just scroll through and look to see, like, I know this one's worth something. Or,
Dog,
yeah, and then like the worst would be when I
dog.
thought I had
I got
something
a
and I would check Beckett and be like,
1975 Mike Schmidt in mint condition,
this
and
is
that
worth
joint is
nothing.
like worth $4. I'm like, what? Yeah, I still got it. Yeah, yeah, I
You still
still
want
got it.
it?
I'm not going to get rid of it. My uncle
Okay.
gave it to me because he was a huge card
If you don't
collector
want it,
as
I'll take it
well.
off your hands.
But man, I was hurt when I saw how worthless that card was.
Oh, man.
I
Okay.
don't know. Yeah. And this was like
How is it only
1975. I
four?
think that was like his third year
That's
in the league.
that's a Hall of Famer.
It's been a
Yeah.
minute, so I'm gonna have to
Wow.
go back and check
When's
again.
the last time you checked it? Okay. Okay. Yeah, that might be worth a little bit more now, but even stuff like that, like,
Hmm.
okay, this isn't worth anything technically. Like stuff like that means something to me. You know, a Hall of Fame guy. I think I saw Mike Schmidt play on television a couple times, but like, understanding the history of the game and just having like a little piece of that is what card collecting is for
Hmm.
me. I don't really do it for the money. I mean, it's cool if you have something that's worth a lot, but just the fact like you got those little tokens of hey, this
Will
1986, here's
Clark.
Mike Schmidt's card, or 1988,
So
here's Will Clark's card. Just that kind of stuff is
no
cool to me.
kidding. Man, so what
I
was
used
it
I used
about his
to
swing
pattern my swing
that
after
drew
him.
you to it?
Hmm. Um, I had something people don't really know. I had family in the Bay Area my entire life, and I used to go to Giants
Hmm.
games when I would go out there. So I still have a lot of love for the Giants. And he was a lefty hitter, and I liked the way that he would like pull his sleeve up before he would hit. And for some reason, and the way like his legs would be like that. when he was in the batter's box, and something
Right
about
on.
that
Southpaw
spoke to me
squad.
because
Let's
Ken
go.
Griffey Jr., I'm a lefty. Junior kind of stood up straight. Oh, you a lefty? See? But
Yeah.
I couldn't gravitate to Junior's swing because it was too smooth, and he stood up straight. And I'm short. Like to get some power, I gotta like crouch down. So I couldn't replicate his swing and like be effective with it. But Clark, he kind of bent down on that back leg, and I was like, I can do that. And that just doing that, I felt cool because nobody else did it, and that it just stuck. And I still like if my oldest son plays t-ball, so we'll go in the backyard every now and then, and I say, Daddy, it's your turn to hit, and I point the bat out and
love it.
pull my
So
sleeve
when
up
did you
like
become
that.
a Red Sox
I
fan?
still do it. I can't. It's like ingrained in my head now. Pretty early on, collecting baseball cards. Going back to that, I got a Wade Boggs card, and I was born in Omaha, Nebraska. I didn't live there long, but that's where I was born. So on the back of his card, you could see that that's where Wade Boggs was from. Yep. And I was like, well, if he's from Omaha, let me follow him. He plays for the Red Sox. Let me rock with them for a little bit. And then it just went from there. And, just the Mike Greenwell, I'm trying to think of just people that caught my eye. Mo Vaughn, over the years, Mo Vaughn, Ellis Burks, Oil Can Boyd, who is from Meridian, Mississippi, which is near where my father's from. He played for the Red Sox. Just stuff like that over the years. I was like, yeah, I'm rocking with this team. And then now it's, I wear either this or the hat with the
wild.
two
I got another friend
socks
that's a
on it
Red Sox fan.
pretty much every
He
day.
said
So
Mike Greenwell was the reason why he became a Red Sox fan, and that's a name you don't really hear often when in terms of Red Sox players.
Yeah, he seemed cool to me. Let's see, I'm trying to think of other names. Trot Nixon. He went to NC State. NC State is where I met my wife.
Hey, come on, man.
Man. Pokey Reese. Roger Clemens. As a kid, you find out somebody else other than Nolan Ryan can throw 100 miles an hour. Like, oh, who is he? He was like a superhero. Just names like that over the years just kept solidifying the connection. And now,
man, and Mo Vaughn. Mo Vaughn was one of my favorites.
It's a thing for life at this point.
He had that violent uppercut with his swing. I loved it.
I hated it when he had to go play with the Angels. I thought he was. Did he win an MVP in a Red Sox uniform? I might be making this up in my head. But just stuff like that over time. Mo Vaughn, a lot of people don't even think about him now. But that's one of the guys that
Red Sox
that I latched onto. The year 2003, was it 03 when Veritek hit A-Rod in the face? I think that was 03, the year before they won. Obviously, the ALCS from 2004, Game 4, I'll still go back and watch that. I don't need to watch the rest of the series, but I will watch Game 4 here and there. I still remember watching it live. I remember staying up wild late at my friend's apartment, knowing I had to get up the next day. Didn't care. What's another one? Multiple Pedro performances. Let's see, another one that's not like the Clemens 20 strikeout game back in the 80s. What's another one? The 99 All-Star game.
Mark McGwire
in Boston.
Did he win the Derby that year?
That's a good memory. I believe he did. I believe so. Yeah, they brought out Ted Williams before the game. That was cool. You know, just seeing that the game was in Boston was enough for me. Like that was, I'll never forget that. I'm trying to think of one that's not like that doesn't jump off the
Pedro
obviously the
tossed Don
2004
Zimmer to the
season
ground. I enjoyed
altogether. I got to think about that. Yeah, it sucks that Zimmer was an older person.
Protect yourself at all times.
Pedro threw him down, but at the same time, you know, you ran at me. Like, what do you want me to do?
Yeah.
And he didn't throw him. He kind of gently,
right,
you know, led him to the ground, run up and get done up as you know, the world saw the A-Rod hit in the face, that whole fight, that was like the height of the rivalry to me. Cause you know, who's going to win the AL East? It was either the Sox or the Yankees. And at that point, I really wanted A-Rod to come to Boston. I thought that was a done deal. And then it didn't happen. And then of all places, he goes to the Yankees, and they were at Fenway, and you know, the tensions were so high because everyone knew what was at stake. One, you don't want to lose to them because that's your rival, but two, like, we're trying to make the playoffs and win something. And back then, just, I mean, Jeter, A-Rod, Soriano, Bernie Williams, they had a squad, Andy Pettit. But if you beat them, that meant that, you know, you were among the elite teams in baseball. And the Sox had, you know, Varitek and Schilling and Pedro and Nomar, and for a little before he, you know, had to leave. I was a Grady Little fan. I was mad when he left, and Terry Francona, just, you know, all those names. It was just, everybody seemed larger than life.
Yep.
And when those two teams played together, it was just like, throw records out the window. Doesn't care, or doesn't matter who's on the mound. Like, your ace could be out there and he could get banged up, and you know, that was just the nature of it. It just, everything felt like so important.
That team,
and
Johnny Damon, and
it's still cool to watch, but it's not like it was then.
Oh,
yes.
I haven't even brought up Manny's name. Like, that was my guy. That was my guy. Unpredictable. Might
he cut off,
miss his cutoff man,
and cutoff man,
or step in the way and be the cutoff man, or yeah. How are you in the outfield and cutting off the cutoff? Just, or he might, you know, run in the monster and go to the bathroom in the middle of the game. Just, but those things, like, he was so good at the plate that stuff didn't even matter. Like, I don't care, man. Whatever you need to do, go be weird. Because I know when you step in that batter's box, it's on. Like, you know, I'll let you strike me out maybe the first 2 times at bat. And then when I come up in the 7th inning or whatever, I've seen everything you got, and I'm taking you yard, and now we got the lead. You know, just those kind of games. Give me that all day. All the goofy stuff in the field, as long as you can do
me too.
what you came to Boston to do. Because I've liked him in Cleveland, and those late '90s teams in Cleveland were so fun. And then when I found out he was going to Boston,
caught a game at Fenway?
Yeah, let's get it. Yeah, I've been to 3 games, I think, and I tell my wife every season, like, I got to go to more games. I got to go to more games. And we have 2 kids now, so it's kind of hard for me to get away. But I tell her all the time, like, I've got to get them to Fenway Park. And I'll never forgive myself for this, but my oldest son's first game was a Washington Nationals Phillies game in DC. And I told myself I was going to make his first game be a Red Sox game in Fenway. But my wife has an aunt and uncle in DC, and we went to go visit, and the timing was just, it worked out for his first game to be a
Nationals
game. So
that you went to Fenway?
I gotta get him up there. 2000. My wife's first present to me when we were dating was she bought me a plane ticket. She bought us plane tickets to Boston and got us tickets to a Yankees Red Sox game. Yeah. At that moment, I was like, okay.
Oh man,
This is different. But the game was rained out. But I sat in Fenway until
just taking it all in.
Almost until the stadium was empty. Yeah. Anytime I go there, that's what I want to do. I saw Bill Burr perform there. Was that 2021? Maybe that was 2021. And same thing. I wasn't even there to watch baseball, but I got there before the show started and was just walking around and looking at everything. The green,
it's such a striking
the green that they paint in there. I love it. Yeah, it's and the fact that they are committed to keeping it look as original as possible. Like, you're just not going to find that most places. It's there, Wrigley, and I guess New York before they went into the new Yankee Stadium. Everywhere else is modern parks, which are cool. I've been to a lot of parks that I really enjoy, but there's just something different about Fenway. It's truly unique, and I'm glad they never moved it. I know there was some talk about them moving the stadium. I think maybe in the 90s or early 2000s, maybe. But just the place that it is in the city, the Citgo sign off in the distance. I every time I go to Boston, if it's in the middle of winter, I'm going by Fenway, taking pictures. I've seen it a million times. I'm still going to take pictures and soak it in. So I love that place. Oh man, I tell people all the time, like, even if you don't care about sports, you don't care about baseball.
Who are some of your favorite non-Red Sox
Park.
players?
It's a landmark.
Be past and present.
Good question. Obviously, Ken Griffey Jr. I mean, what kid, black or white, growing up watching baseball didn't like him? I mean, he was cool. He had dope shoes. The Mariners logo and color scheme when he was playing there was A-Rod. I know a lot of people aren't big fans of him. But yeah, he was in Seattle and Texas. He was unbelievable. Barry Bonds, probably my favorite player ever. When he went to the Giants, I was really excited because that meant when I would go to San Francisco to see family, I would get to see Barry Bonds. Unfortunately, every time I went when he played for the Giants, he took a day off. I think there were 3 times where I went and he took a day off. So that was tough, but still one of my favorite players ever. Will Clark. Non-Red Sox. Kenny Lofton, big fan of him. Let's see. Cal Ripken.
Me too.
I really liked Alfonso Soriano, even though he played for the Yankees. Just something about the way he swung the bat. Played hard, kept his mouth shut, which was good that he played for the Yankees, because if I probably heard him talking shit, I would have marked him off the list. I was a big, not a big Andy Van Slyke fan, but when he played next to Barry Bonds, I had paid attention to him. Trying to think of a name that like doesn't jump out. Oil Can Boyd. Andre Dawson. My father really liked watching him, so I kind of gravitated to him, and Ryan Sandberg.
Yes, indeed. That man could
Tony Gwynn. That's another one. Yeah, the way that, like, when you start hearing those stats of like, oh, Tony Gwynn could have struck out however many times and he'd still be over a 300 hitter and stuff like that. The way the game is played now, launch angle and all that stuff, like he just went out there and hit. And
Yeah, the
I
man
don't care
hit
if it's a home run, a
451
double,
against
single.
Greg Maddux.
I'm
for
trying to
his
get on
career.
base. That's it.
That's
Like,
insane.
you're
Greg
probably
Maddux.
Greg Maddux, put the ball anywhere around the plate, could paint all the corners and everything, confused everyone. But Tony Gwynn had his number. Like, and on top of that, like, I played ball in college. I played basketball in college too.
I think he had the steals record.
Whatever
at
you want to do,
Arizona State,
basketball,
San Diego
baseball,
State, if I'm not
good.
mistaken. That's such a testament to how great
He
of an athlete
might
he
still
is.
have it now that I think about it. Yep. And super humble, went out, did his job. You never heard him getting out of line or like trying to show people up. I'm just good. I'm good at baseball. I'm going to hit the cover off the ball. I'm going to go home, keep my mouth shut. I'm going to come back to the park and do it again. Unfortunately, the Padres didn't have that much
without a doubt
success when he was there.
So
but
now
he's
we're going to get into
a
the
legend.
5-question segment. So the
Big
first
Tony
and last
Gwynn
question are the same question I ask every guest I have on here. Questions 2 through 4 are 100% random. So question number 1, what were Sundown's go-to school lunch items?
Wow. Gushers, for sure. When Gushers hit the streets, oh my God. Like, I'm surprised I didn't have more cavities as a child, because whoever decided to invent Gushers, thank you. First and foremost, you changed my life. I still, like, when I see Gushers now, I still get that feeling like I need them. Last weekend, two weekends ago, I went to Raleigh to visit some friends, and one of my friends gave my son a pack of Gushers. And I didn't think anything of it. I went to go pick up food. My son hid the pack of Gushers and saved one for me. Yeah. He doesn't know how much I love him. And he handed it to me. And I looked at my wife like, hey, like, this is a moment.
And you know what's wild? The last person I had
you saved a Gusher for me?
When I asked him the same question, literally the first thing that came out of his mouth was Gushers. So there's clearly something in the air this week.
Like that.
Yeah, that was a
such
true
a
Apollo
moment.
legend.
Such a moment when Gushers hit the streets. Ugh. Oh man. And you know what? I'll switch it up since somebody gave you that answer also. When the Garfield fruit snacks were out. I don't know if anybody remembers these. Man, crushed them. So sad. Those and the shark joints. What were there was some that looked like fighter planes and then some that looked like sharks. I can't remember the names of them right now, but we'll go Gushers, Garfield fruit snacks, the aircraft.
Question number 2.
Fruit snacks,
what was
and the
your
shark
favorite
ones.
first day of school outfit in
those 4, like. Wow. You know what's crazy? I've never been a fashionable person. Okay. Like, I'll wear a white t-shirt and jeans almost every day, pretty much every day. But when I was in high school, you couldn't get every team's fitted cap. So when I was a kid, I couldn't really get Red Sox caps, so I wore San Francisco Giants hats. But when I was able to get one of these, I think my sophomore year of high school, that was a dope moment for me. Like, oh, I get to wear Red Sox stuff now. And I had a Yankees cap because Black Thought wore one, and I wore it. But when I wore it, I put a Band-Aid over the logo. So I don't think that was a first day of school thing, but it was definitely like I'm wearing this because my favorite or one of my favorite MCs wears it. He wasn't my favorite at the time, but I'm wearing this because I saw Thought wearing it. But
Yeah.
I can't wear this hat and leave it as is. I have to change it somehow. And that was my answer to it. Like, just toss the Band-Aid
Yeah,
over
you
it.
can't live with that on your conscience.
I think I gave that hat away actually, because after a while I was like,
Question number
I can't
3.
own this.
Stuck on an island with 3 albums. What albums would they be?
Yeah, no, we're not doing that. Oh my God. Let's go Purple Rain. I know that's a cop-out answer for Prince fans, but I can think of the movie while I'm listening to the album. So that's like a double, like I knocked 2 birds out with 1 stone. Maybe Only Built for Cuban Links.
Oh, man, there's some good choices.
And probably Iron Man. I listened to Only Built and Iron Man. I ran those relentlessly in high school. I still remember doing homework listening to both of those. So those will probably be my 3. Oh, of course I can't think of the name of it right now, but it's a joint where in the middle of the song they cut into it the audio from a kung fu flick, and Raekwon has the last verse. Of course, I'm blanking on the name of the song. Of course, I would do that. That and Incarcerated Scarfaces. I just remember that video as a kid and thinking like that was when I looked at rappers like they're superheroes. That's why I never thought I could do it, because who's the kid in the Green Land, and you see Ray and the rest of the Wu in the video, like I can't do that. That's something that's so far removed from where I am in life. There's no way I could do that. And seeing that on television was just like a moment for me.
Enough.
Not as much as a moment as the ice cream video for different reasons, but
yes.
But yeah, that video changed my life for sure.
Question number 4: smooth or crunchy?
I thought I was going to marry a Dominican woman because of that video.
Yeah, I'm
smooth.
I'm the
no
black
question.
sheep in my family.
Smooth
I prefer
all
crunchy
day.
peanut
That's
butter.
Easy answer. I don't mind it. But if you give me the choice, I'm going smooth every time. We have a jar of crunchy peanut butter in our pantry, and it's probably been there for a year and a half. Because for some reason, I think we bought it on accident, and we were like, all right, we're going to plow through this. And it's one of the big joints. And I think like a quarter of the way through, me and my wife looked at each other like, nah, that's not it.
Hey, you like
so it's still there. So we went out and bought smooth.
Last question. What was the last thing that really made you laugh?
My wife, she is an SWV fan, and whenever the Anything remix comes on, she starts rapping all the parts. And she was doing something with our sons in their playroom, and I got a video of her rapping, rapping the parts at the end, and she's dancing it. And she looked at me like, "Yeah, hilarious. I don't care."
Did she
like,
do the
I don't
the
care
old
that you're
dirty?
recording me. So that's probably the last thing that really got me.
Kaboom!
Of course.
Yeah.
Her favorite is the kaboom, though. The
anything
Mets
you want
parts,
to plug
those
or
are
promote,
her
or
parts.
just tell the people where they can find you. Floor is yours.
Man, plug or promote. I don't want to promise anything before what I have in mind is done. So I'm gonna keep my mouth shut on that. But I'm pretty much on Twitter every day at Sundown Act Proof, goofing off or
buddy.
trying to keep up on world events.
That was it. Today was a day.
The Diddy thing, or
yeah.
Man, I think I tweeted something about like this app is on fire today because the Diddy thing, the Hezbollah thing, obviously anything with Trump is, it's just constant stuff on Twitter. So I'm there all the time. Not really on IG that much anymore, but my username is the same. Yeah, that if you're looking for me and you don't have my number,
thank you so much for being on.
That's where I'll
Seriously,
be.
I enjoyed
pretty
this
much all day.
immensely. Just getting to chop it up with you.
Man, I'll come back whenever. Like, one, I don't know a lot of people who enjoy baseball. Two, I don't know a lot of black baseball fans.
You got an open door policy,
so, like,
my man. Seriously.
Anytime that you want me to be back, just say the word.
Just let me just say the word.
Okay. Okay.
Shit,
yeah, I might
Let's
start
go.
bugging you a little bit more than you're used to, because I really enjoy talking baseball. I talk to my brother-in-law about baseball almost every day. He works for the Marlins, and yeah, like he sent when the World Baseball Classic was there, he sent me like pictures of Griffey and Mike Trout. And
that's on my list for 2026.
I was at home hating. Oh my God, I was hating. Like,
they got it. They're doing it in Miami and they're doing it in Houston.
If I'm assuming they would hold it in Miami again.
100%.
Listen, if you go, we need to link up, because I've got to go be in that environment. Watching that on television, I love Major League Baseball, don't get me wrong, but like the energy of those games and like the way the fans like brought that like different, like it almost felt like a soccer crowd at a baseball game.
God,
like I have got to be a part of that. Have to. And the players, I'm Juan Soto. Yeah, I'm not playing in Major League Baseball, but I'm playing for DR. Like, I'm going hard. Like, we're playing for real. And like, I really enjoy that. They don't take it as a, man, let's just go do this. Like they really care and they really want to win. So that, plus the crowds, plus like like being super hot in the summer, just something about all that. I want to be a part of that.
Make that happen.
So yeah,
thank y'all for listening.
We might need to link up and
make sure you
like,
download, and subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. You can find me on IG at Danny Foxworth 843, and as well as Twitter, same handle, but there's one O in Foxworth, so it's FOXWRTH 843. You can follow my YouTube channel, which is also at Danny Foxworth 843. You can find all the videos for all the episodes of this podcast, as well as my Since We Last Spoke podcast, and my other podcast, Growing Up Low Country with Liz and Danny, and my new podcast about candles entitled A Wicked Good Time. And I appreciate you all for your support. Thank you for the feedback, and thank you for your eyes and your ears. And for Sundown and myself, this has been another episode of At the Plate. And until next time, y'all be good. 3 strikes. Boom. Man, that was...